Hello, and welcome to this edition of State of the Fleet Industry Spotlight Series sponsored by US Bank. I'm Chris Brown, Associate Publisher of Automotive Fleet. In this episode, I connect with Sandor Piszar, who recently became Vice President of GM Envolve. Sandor and I discuss his background and the journey to his role in leading GM Fleet and how GM Envolve is set up to engage with fleets in 2024. Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of State of the Fleet Industry video series. I'm Chris Brown, Associate Publisher at Bobbit, and I am super excited to introduce Sandor Piszar. He's Vice President of General Motors Envolve, and we're here to talk fleet in the future from GM's perspective. Sandor, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Happy to be here.
Sure. Well, let's dive right in. Can you share your background and your journey to this role in fleet?
Been with General Motors for 26 years, and I couldn't have known it at the time, of course, but looking back on my career, it seems like the paths I took have really led me straight to GM Envolve. I've held positions in sales and marketing at not only Chevrolet and GMC, but with all of our GM divisions. I've worked in parts and accessories, service. I've worked in the field, so I know our dealers. I was director of truck marketing at Chevy, and most recently, before this role at GM Envolve, I was the vice president of sales, service, and marketing at GM Canada, which of course includes commercial vehicles. And I've had a lot of fun along the way as well. I was director of performance and motorsports. We brought back the Copel Camaro back in 2012, and even that is related to skills for working in the fleet commercial space, because we had to work as a team. We had to work quickly. We had to have flexibility, solve problems, and then look at things importantly from the lens of the customer. Those are all critical things in the fleet and commercial space. It's been an amazing ride so far, and I couldn't be more excited to be at GM Envolve at this time.
Well, great. Yeah. So, hey, as you settle into this new role, how's your outreach to fleet clients? What's that looking like?
Yeah, I started in this role in August and hit the ground running. Eddie Pieper, who's an icon in the industry, he retired. And since I got here in August, I've been meeting with customers both live as well as on Teams meetings and phone calls. It's all about relationships, right? In good times, in challenging times, having those relationships with customers is important. So I've been reaching out, and I look forward to continuing to do that in 2024. It's going to take some time, but until I can get to everyone, I'm of course relying on our team and our great account executives to stay engaged with our customers.
Sure. So we're beginning to understanding GM Fleet's reorganization under GM Envolve. It seems to be structured around an EV future, but there's going to be organizations that they're not fleeting EVs just yet. How will they be able to access personnel and services compared to the old GM Fleet and commercial format?
It's a great question, Chris. And while EVs are certainly a part of it, it really goes well beyond that. It's not just a name change from GM Fleet to GM Envolve. It's really about focusing on leveraging the full portfolio of products and services that General Motors has to offer, so that we can help our customers grow their business. We did a ton of research with literally thousands of customers, from big Fortune 500 commercial customers on down to local businesses, the Joe the plumbers. And what it really came down to is they are looking for a single point of contact who can truly understand their business. They can have a relationship with them, and then that single point of contact can help them across the challenges they're experiencing and the range of solutions that General Motors has to offer. So within that GM Envolve suite of services and products are things such as the vehicle, of course, but also mobility solutions, energy, delivery solutions, connectivity and technology, and growth solutions. And that's really what it's about for both EVs and ICE vehicles, and having a true understanding of what these customers are looking for and how we can help them grow their business. That's really what GM Envolve is all about.
Sure. Well, on the other side of the coin, you've got organizations looking to fleet EVs soon. We've seen delays recently, right? I mean, there's battery plant delays and EV model delays. How should these fleet adjust their plans in light of this new environment?
Yeah, we certainly recognize the importance of commercial customers when it comes to EVs. I think a great example of that is the Silverado EV work truck. We launched that as a fleet first vehicle this year. It's the first time in the history of General Motors that we've done that. And then we're also bringing other products such as the Blazer EV, the Blazer EV PPV, and the Equinox EV to market in 2024. So we're going to have a broad array of EV entries in some of the biggest segments to help our commercial, our fleet, our government customers electrify their fleets. Certainly, the commercial fleet business, like the whole industry, is being transformed in fundamental ways. There have been challenges, as you said. There's going to continue to be some growing pains during the course of this transition. No different, really, than the growing pains the industry had at the start of this business over a century ago. But we feel fleets should be planning now for that EV transition. It's going to take some time, and importantly, when they're looking at EVs, the very next question is typically about infrastructure being established at their facilities. They have our commitment for EVs. It's as strong as ever. We're installing capacity for 1 million units of EV production in North America as we get to the end of 2025. Our long-term EV goals are intact, and we can help them with not only the product but also with infrastructure solutions through GM Energy and other partnerships we have to help them grow their EV share of the business.
Sure, great. So, in terms of overall sales, percentage of sales, fleet compared to retail, excuse me, is that changing in 2024?
Overall, we're currently forecasting the fleet industry to be relatively stable versus 2023. So for 2024, we're still seeing strong customer demand for both retail and commercial segments. We plan to hold our mix in 2024 similar to what we saw this year, which is nearly a quarter of total GM sales for commercial within the mix.
Okay. Let's talk about model availability, by segment and fleet mix. Is that changing? Any updates on the Bright Drop product? And of course, I got to ask, those cargo vans, right? Express and Savannah, high demand. Any more availability there in 2024?
We're certainly planning greater availability across the board for commercial and government customers in all the segments, increases in EVs, full-size pickups, full-size SUVs, and mid-size pickups. You mentioned G-Van, Express, and Savannah. They are white hot, and demand is still exceeding supply. However, we are bringing Bright Drop production up to greater levels for 2024. That's certainly going to help us to meet van customer needs next year, and it is an absolutely outstanding product.
Well, supply chain delays in the past few years have really kind of skewed order to delivery times. Is GM doing anything actively to manage OTD for 2024?
Yeah, this is a really important subject, Chris. Improving order to delivery times is a key item for us. Unfortunately, there are many things, as you mentioned, that affect order to delivery that are beyond our control, supply chain, transportation, logistics. But we are seeing improvements across the board. We do expect that to continue for 2024. Demand and supply are coming a little bit closer together than they have the past couple of years. And General Motors has made some investments on things we can control, such as build shy volumes are going down. We've got longer order windows to help manage production. And then we've made significant improvements and investments in logistics with new tactics such as dedicated rail, shipping, and trucks for General Motors. And we're introducing innovations there to improve efficiencies. So we expect that to continue to improve for 2024.
Okay, great. Yeah. Hey, last question. What's your vision for the future of GM Envolve?
Well, we just launched GM Envolve in May of 2023, and even in that short time, we are excited about the opportunity to provide our customers with a broad range of solutions beyond just the vehicle. We think it's a competitive advantage for General Motors and for our customers. It's looking at the business holistically, and making sure we're focused on the relationship and helping our customers grow their business versus just being an OEM vehicle supplier. So that's certainly going to ramp up with greater speed in 2024. Something that won't change going forward is focusing on what our customers need and providing the absolute best products and services, which we feel we do have, bringing innovation and business solutions to them. And then, of course, exceptional customer experience. Our customers are supremely important to us, and our entire business is focused on meeting their needs, and that's certainly going to continue for 2024. We're excited about the coming year.
Sure, absolutely. Well, Sandor, thank you. I have a feeling this is not going to be the last time we grab you for State of the Fleet Industry video series, but I do appreciate your time today, and here's to a great 2024.
Thanks, Chris. Looking forward to it.